This morning we're going to install an above-ground swimming pool. This pool is going to be professionally installed by a family leisure installation crew. But before construction actually begins, several things need to be discussed with the homeowner that concern the actual installation of the pool. This is a 24-foot pool, so the homeowner has ordered 6 tons of fine mason sand. Remember that the sand and gravel companies do not accurately weigh the sand, so in most cases there will be excess sand. The first thing to be discussed is obviously the pool location. As you can see, this site has already been staked out by the homeowner. The second concern, are there any underground wires such as power, phone, or cable lines where the pool is located? We strongly recommend that all electric, phone, cable, or gas lines be flagged or marked before we come to install the pool. Remember, the pool cannot be placed under overhead power lines. The third item to be discussed is whether there is a septic tank, field lines, or sewer lines near the pool site. In this case, there is a downspout drain directed away from the pool site. It is imperative that all gutters and downspouts do not direct water towards the pool site. All rainwater runoff should be directed away from the pool location. Next, the builder will discuss the access path to the job site. Remember, this is heavy excavation equipment and dump trucks. There will be lawn damage on the access path. There also can be damage to driveways and sidewalks. We strongly recommend that we be provided at least an 8-foot access path that does not run over driveways, sidewalks, or landscaping. As you can see, this homeowner has an existing deck, so the builder is discussing with him if he has any future deck plans. We will not be able to hit the original deck height, so the new pool deck will actually be a step down from the existing deck. This is actually ideal, as then a fence and self-latching gate can be installed to prevent unauthorized access to the pool site. Next, they will discuss where the excess dirt from the excavation should be placed. Some dirt can be put in piles around the pool site, but in the case of a deep excavation, there will be too much dirt, and that dirt can only be moved about 25 feet from the job site. Next, they will discuss where the pump and filter system should be located. Family Leisure always recommends that it be on the low side of the pool, usually away from the house. Next, they will discuss the location of the entry system. Again, Family Leisure recommends the low side of the pool. On the high side, as you will see later, the steps will end up in a hole that will later fill in with dirt and be unusable. Finally, he will make sure that a permit has been pulled for this pool, and as you can see, it has been and is clearly posted. Permits are required in most counties and municipalities. It is the homeowner's responsibility to obtain this permit. Well, we are now ready to begin construction. The first step to the actual construction is painting or marking the pool perimeter. This is a 24-foot pool, and there is usually a 2 to 3 foot overdig, so the actual excavation area will be about 28 feet in diameter. In the case of a deep dig or a severely out of level yard, the installer would discuss additional excavation charges and that deeper digs have a great deal of excess dirt. They are using a laser level. This level uses a laser light. By marking the light on the grade stick, they will shoot an absolutely level grade. Now begins the actual excavation. Remember, this is now a construction site with heavy equipment at work. Please keep all pets restrained and children away from the site. Please notice that the machine moves quickly. This is not the men hurrying. It is simply the way these machines operate efficiently. The site is now ready for the actual pool construction. The first step is to lay out the bottom track to locate the patio blocks. These patio blocks are located at the joiner plates. One of the most important steps in having a level pool is to make sure that these patio blocks are absolutely level. Again, they are using a laser level for this. Notice that they are staking out the bottom track to ensure that the pool maintains a perfectly round shape. Next, they will remove a portion of the track so the sand can be brought into the excavated area. At this point, they will pre-assemble all the uprights. Notice there's a piece of plywood under the coiled wall. This makes it easier to unroll the pool wall. If the pool has a stainless steel service panel, it should be attached to the pool wall before rolling it out. Also, all the sharp edges should be taped for safety. Notice a course of duct tape is placed over the wall bolts to protect the liner. Next, they will begin to roll out the pool wall. The pool is now placed in the track as the wall is unrolled. It is imperative that they try to keep sand from getting in the track as this is being done. As they unroll and place it in the track, they are putting on the top rails and attaching bungee cords to wind stakes for stability during the process. This is extremely important if there is any wind at all. Even though the track has been staked carefully, the wall bolts never meet perfectly. By simply using a thin screwdriver as a lever and shimmying or shaking the pool wall can be lengthened or shortened so the wall bolts will meet perfectly. Now they are assembling the rest of the wall bolts. Another course of duct tape will then cover those bolts as well. These wall bolts will be slightly visible under the liner, but pose no danger to the liner because of the duct tape covering. It is very important before continuing that they recheck the roundness of the pool. Now they will assemble the uprights around the pool. Prior to installing the liner, the bottom must be prepared. First, the sand is spread smoothly and evenly around the pool. Ideally, the sand should be 2 to 4 inches thick. Then a 6-inch cove is pushed up against the pool wall. This cove should be relatively uniform so that the liner hangs evenly. Notice the foam shoes. This is to keep from leaving excessive footprints while the liner is being installed. Bottom is being prepared. They will build the filter base pad. Family Leisure recommends a 6-block pad to provide a solid base for the filtration system. Last, they will wet the sand if necessary to finish seating it. The filter system is now being assembled and placed on the pad. We are now ready to hang the liner. After unrolling the liner, they will look for the wall seam. This is the seam that runs vertically up the wall. Never place the wall seam where the skimmer or return jet will be. At the base of the wall seam is the cove seam. Where the cove seam and the wall seam meet is the double seam. This is the starting point for hanging the liner. The double seam should be set at the middle of the cove and held in place by his foot. Then the wall seam is run perfectly straight up the wall. Where the liner laps over the wall is the mark point for hanging the liner. Now that they have determined the mark point, they will hang the liner evenly all the way around the pool. There should be exactly the same amount of overlap all the way around. Notice that they are putting on the coping strips under the top rails to hold the liner securely in place. Even professional crews will sometimes have to go back around the pool to get the liner to hang perfectly evenly. It is imperative, though, that this be done, as it will prevent wrinkles later on. Now he will go from side to side, kicking the liner out to the cove. This is all to ensure that the liner is absolutely centered and hanging uniformly. Notice the liner is relatively loose and not stretched. You will also notice that by kicking the liner out, many of the bottom wrinkles are pulled out. Now they will tape over the skimmer and return jet so the vacuum can be attached. When the vacuum is turned on, it will suck the liner into place and show where all the wrinkles will be. These wrinkles should be moved from the center to the outside by again kicking out the liner. The liner is now ready for water. Remember, the weight of the water finishes compacting the sand, so never let anyone in the pool until it is completely full. If anyone enters the pool without the foam shoes prior to it being full, they will leave footprints. After there is an inch or two of water, the liner is seated. At this point, it is time to cut in the skimmer and return jet. Generally, this is a two-man job. To simulate where the water will push the liner as it fills, the inside man will hold the cove seam of the liner firmly against the cove throughout the process. The skimmer faceplate, with its gasket, is placed over the cutout, and the screws are simply forced through the liner and screwed into the skimmer body and tightened. This secures the skimmer. Many installers will use silicone on the backside of the skimmer body to prevent leaking. The return jet is pushed into the cutout, and then, using a razor knife, the liner is trimmed around it. With the gaskets in place, the nut is then tightened firmly. They will now connect the filter system. The hose from the skimmer goes to the pump. The other hose goes to the return jet. Carefully cut out the remaining liner material inside the skimmer. Next, they will check to make sure all the uprights are perfectly vertical. Finally, the top seats and top clamps are attached. Notice that the base portion of the top clamp is already attached to the upright, making the process easier. They will also place about 6 inches of dirt around the base of the pool as a backfill. Family Leisure always recommends that the entry system be placed on the low side of the pool to avoid issues with the backfill. The entry system is finally placed in the pool and adjusted. The Family Leisure installer will now give a brief explanation of the accessory items and give all the paperwork and warranty information to the homeowner. Well, at this point, the Family Leisure installation crew has completed the construction portion of the new swimming pool. Now, obviously, there are still some things left to be done. First of all, of course, and the most obvious, is to finish filling the pool. Now, there's a couple of words of caution on filling the pool. Naturally, you just use your garden hose. That's the simplest. But you cannot run the garden hose at night. At night, the temperature's cool, and that liner can start to shrink or pull taut on the pool wall. So only fill the pool during daylight hours. And also, you only want to fill the pool if the temperature is 65 or 70 degrees or more. If you try to fill it when it's cool or overnight, it will create tension on the pool wall and can actually cause buckles. Now, buckles are normal during a normal installation. As the pool fills and fills completely, those wall buckles will all pop out and the pool will be perfectly smooth and round. The second, and also very obvious thing, is you're going to need to have a 110 line run to the pump and filter system. Now, typically that's a 20 amp dedicated 110 line, and it should be protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter. Now, what we always recommend is you get a licensed bonded electrician who will comply with all your state and local codes. The next thing, and probably a little less obvious, is the backfill of the pool. Now, obviously there's dirt all around the pool. Well, that dirt should be pushed up against the pool wall, but it cannot be moved against the pool wall until the pool is completely full. If you push the dirt up against the wall before the water has come up, then that dirt can actually push the pool wall in. This is why the Family Leisure crew cannot put the dirt back up against the pool, because obviously there isn't enough water to keep it from collapsing. And probably the most important, and really I cannot stress enough, is you really need to teach pool safety to all your family and guests so that, you know, the pool is a backyard. It's a great fun environment for the backyard and for the family, but it needs to be safe. One of the very first parts of keeping the pool safe is to always provide a barrier of access to the pool. Now, all of the safety ladder entry systems that we have, the ladder will flip up into an upright locked position so that no unauthorized person can enter that pool. And it's the responsibility of the homeowner to make sure that whenever the pool is not being used, that this ladder is up and out of the way so that no children or anyone unauthorized is entering the pool. The second thing, we provide a whole lot of these stickers. Now, these stickers basically say, do not jump or dive. And we recommend that you put these around the pool in various locations. Now, we do not put these on the pool because many homeowners, as this particular customer, intends to build a deck around his pool. So we don't want these being covered up once the deck is installed. So we leave these for the homeowner to put on, but please put them on because they help to warn the customer or the people not to have people jumping and diving. This is a shallow pool. This is going to have about 48 inches of water. It is not approved for diving. One of the most important things, though, in addition to the ladder and the stickers and also talking to the consumer or to the guests at your pool and your family members, is to be in compliance with the fence code. Now, right now, this pool, because it is more than 48 inches above the grade, is in compliance with the fence code as long as that ladder is up. Now, once that pool is backfilled, for example, if you push a lot of dirt against that wall, well, then the pool will no longer be in compliance because it will not be 48 inches above grade. We very highly recommend that you talk to your local city, state, or whatever building department is in your area to make sure that you are in compliance with all of the fencing codes. Now, these things change from county to county and city to city, so it's really a matter of making a phone call or stopping by your building department. Well, I hope this has been informational. I hope you now understand how a pool is built, and if we can be of any help, please let us know. Of course, as far as the maintenance of the pool, from taking care of the chemicals to vacuuming and all of the other things that are required in maintaining a pool, we'd ask that you refer to the Family Leisure Pool School program, either on the DVD or on the internet. And thank you.